Ahead tonight, the Minister of Tourism urges mediation over Baha Mar.
Minister of State for Legal Affairs moves to have 2 opposition seats vacated. We'll tell you all about it coming up in the Bahamas tonight.
And the PLP announces details of its 2015 National Convention. The Bahamas tonight, the National Report starts right now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Everyday.
Tourism Minister, the Honorable Obi Wilchcombe, is pushing for mediation over Baha Mar, and this may mean dropping the winding up petition in court. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. He says the urgency to get Bahamians to work, coupled with the country's reputation on the line, is the rationale behind his stance. The Tourism Minister says the focus should be around coming to an agreement rather than engaging in long court battles to gain control. We get that story tonight from Clint Watson.
Tourism Minister Obi Wilchcombe is urging for mediation over Baha Mar, which could mean dropping the winding up petition in court.
I think we need a breakthrough. And I think the breakthrough can come if we can put the minds of all concerned together. And if we're able to cause for discussion based on what I believe is a committed level of determination to get the project completed and get the resort open. If all the sides are saying they wish to do so, then let's get together, let's talk. I believe the legal wrangling or the legal discussion that's taking place that is now in our courts and the courts in the United States of America can only cause further delay.
The mediation talks have been explored before by the government. However, on more than one occasion, these talks failed. However, Minister Wilchcombe says that persistence and patience is required, along with neutral intervention.
That's why you need a mediator. The thing is, you can sit and talk. The fact is, it's never over until it's over. Until, as they say, the fat lady's saying, well, she hasn't raised her voice yet, so it's not over. You can, in fact, sit and talk. Nothing's over until it's over. And in the world that we operate, politics, it's the art of the impossibility. You make it happen. And we can turn the impossibility into the possible, but it just requires someone sitting down, mediating, players being committed, and demanding that we arrive at a conclusion.
Minister Wilchcombe says while these parties sit in court, Bahamians are hurting. He says as it stands now, a barrier needs to be broken. Regarding Rosewood pulling out, the minister says this is a serious concern for the destination because we do not want brands pulling out and leaving the country.
What you don't want is brands such as Rosewood to be apprehensive about coming to the Bahamas. The fact is, when a brand comes in, that opens other opportunities. Rosewood pulling out is unfortunate as far as I'm concerned, and I'm hoping that Hyatt doesn't follow. And if that happens, then it might be even more difficult to get brands to come in. We have to understand when brands come in and pull out, it causes some discussion in the marketplace, and we have to be very mindful of that. And so pulling out could be more dangerous and more damaging than if we didn't have the brand.
The Bahamas brand is holding strong, according to Wilchcombe, and at this point, he doesn't want anything to interfere with that, so he's hoping the issue with the Rosewood brand doesn't dominate the international conversation. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Baha Mar developer and CEO Sarkis Merlian says the liquidation of Baha Mar proposed by the government is, in his words, a perilous path. One, he says, that could be highly costly, wasting the assets of Baha Mar to the significant disadvantage of its creditors, citizens, and the longer-term economic potential of the Bahamas. In a statement issued to Baha Mar employees on Friday, Merlian noted that officials are highly confident the Chapter 11 process provides the most assured path for Baha Mar to be completed properly and opened successfully as soon as possible, and not the government-pursued liquidation process. Merlian says a liquidator is not a party that knows Baha Mar, nor knows how to manage the resort or has an economic and personal stake in its successful opening. The CEO asserts that the dangers of what the government has unleashed on Baha Mar is reflected in the motion filed this past Thursday by Rosewood Hotels and Resorts, seeking to get approval from the Bankruptcy Court of Delaware to terminate its contract with Bahamar. Ms. Merlion quoted from court documents one of Rosewood's statements that its decision is principally driven by what it perceives to be its vulnerabilities as a result of the Bahamian court's actions. The Bahamar CEO says they will vigorously oppose this motion. Now, ZNS News can confirm that while the proceedings in the Supreme Court was mentioned by Rosewood as a concern, the company cited a long list of breaches by Bahamar, mainly surrounding the resort's inability to pay numerous fees associated with the branding and its alleged false declaration during negotiations that it actually owned the property on which the hotel was built. Rosewood also said it was concerned about its reputation after Bahamar failed to open, causing many guest reservations to be canceled. Last week, Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Bradley Roberts revealed documents proving that opposition Free National Movement leader Dr. Hubert Minnis failed to declare existing contracts with the government for renting a building he has interests in. Today, Minister of State for Legal Affairs, the Honorable Damian Gomez, is moving to have Minnis' seat along with another opposition parliamentary seat vacated. He explained why to our Janaea Noel Ferguson.
Minister of State for Legal Affairs, the Honorable Damian Gomez, says the conflict of interest involving opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis and Long Island MP Loretta Butler Turner does not exist because of the buildings they allegedly own or have shares in are being rented to the government. But the conflict exists, he says, because they have failed to declare their interests.
Dr. Minnis has changed his position. We now know that he has been receiving monthly payments from the PHA, who have not, in fact, moved from his premises in spite of his request that they do so. I'm just saying, look, you're receiving the rents. It's obvious that you have an interest. It's your company. Come to the House. The government is not going to oppose you for the sake of opposing it.
The Public Hospitals Authority rented from Leachez Investments, where Minnis is listed as a president, in 2005 before he entered politics. This continued while he was the Minister of Health and continues up to today. At no time did Minnis declare his interests. While Gomez did not expand on Butler Turner's matter, she declared the declaration concerning any shares she allegedly has in a company with a contract with the government false and defamatory. She also indicated that she has instructed her attorney to begin legal action against Gomez for defamation of character.
Any member of the House or the Senate who has an interest in a contract with government is required to declare the interest and to seek the approval of the House or the Senate. It's a simple process. We've done it with Leslie Miller. All I'm saying is, for the sake of the system, the opposition should cooperate with the government.
Meanwhile, PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts says Minnis was the one that challenged him to bring the proof, and now that he has, he says Minnis must do the right thing.
So I put up. Now it's time for him to put up and be gone.
Now, there have also been claims that other parliamentarians may find themselves in the same position.
Let the people step forward with the information. We have a tendency in this country, once someone is caught out in something, to say other people there as well too. Well, if they are other people, bring forward the information.
It doesn't matter to me who it is. It could be a member of the Progressive Liberal Party. The point of the matter is the law requires it to be done. It ought to be followed.
Now, attempts to reach Minnis for comment were unsuccessful. Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Free National Movement leader Dr. Hubert Minnis remained silent after PLP Chairman Roberts released Minnis' 2007 declaration in which he failed to disclose that he had an existing contract with the government. ZNS News made numerous calls to Dr. Minnis today, left a message but received no response. Roberts says the documents prove that Minnis, whose company Leachez Investments Limited had a 2-year, $180,000 rental contract with the Public Hospitals Authority, was involved in a conflict of interest while he served as health minister. Minnis previously stated that the contract was signed before he entered politics and has argued that his company, which is a separate legal entity and not him specifically, had the government contract and that it still exists today. Moving on, all positions in the Progressive Liberal Party, will be declared vacant on November 1st as the party prepares for its national convention set for November 1st through 7th at the Melia Nassau Beach Resort. The event is being held under the theme Transforming the Nation for the Next Generation, and party supporters and attendees will hear the party's vision for the future. Convention chairman is Minister of Labour and National Insurance and Member of Parliament for Golden Gates, the Honourable Shane Gibson.
Day sessions, which are closed, will focus on critical issues facing the nation. A review of the PLP government's current term in office, plans for the remainder of its term, transformative plans for the future development of the Bahamas, reports and administrative matters related to the party, the election of party officers, amendments to the party's constitution, and resolutions for the consideration of the party. The night sessions, which are open, will be used to examine policy issues and the government's agenda, while striking the perfect balance between new faces of the PLP and experienced leadership.
PLP Chairman Bradley Roberts told the media that he has not made up his mind whether or not he will run again as chairman, but he discussed the accomplishments and challenges within the party and graded the PLP's term to date with a B+. Mr. Roberts also said that the convention will highlight some new faces, as more than 50% of the party's new generation of leaders have served well. And although there were a few who have left the party, Mr. Roberts said for the most part, the party's newcomers have done well. Meanwhile, the PLP recognizes that there are a number of national issues government is working to address. Chairman Gibson revealed that many of them will be discussed during the convention.
We will be articulating and exactly what it is we have been able to accomplish so far and look at our plans moving forward. I think many times our message gets lost, and so you'll hear from various ministers, various stakeholders, and you will get a better feel as to exactly where we are moving forward.
Emotions run high as the fifth police-involved shooting leaves a young man dead. I'm Clint Watson. The story's ahead in the Bahamas tonight.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Platinum Bride Couture, downtown Nassau on Parliament Street. Begin your happily ever after at Platinum Bride Couture.